When coal was king, Fremont County was a big part of its kingdom. More than 279 coal mines at one time or another dotted the hillsides of Fremont County. The black gold was an important part of life in the first century of Canyon City, Florence, and Fremont County. It was how you stayed warm in most homes and businesses every winter. Outcroppings of the black rock made it easy to spot the valuable commodity in early days. Use and demand would quickly lead to the advent of underground mining. Dozens of mines would dot the hillside south of Florence, and the towns of Coal Creek, Rockville, Williamsburg, and Chandler would pop up to help support the people needed to get to the coal. Dick Husband and Dick Richards would open the Double Dick Mine in the Southfield coal fields. John Gavigliano and Dominic Carpine would run the Cedar Canyon Mine. Colorado Fuel and Iron, CF&I, saw the area was rich with coal and quickly invested in the county's biggest operations. By the turn of the last century, the company had interests in the Fremont, Emerald, Coal Creek, and other mines. They also leased the Rockville and Brookside mines. In 1904, CF&I opened the Nonak No. 5. Nonak is canyon spelled backwards. The mine was also known as the Rockville Mine. It was located at the top of 4th Street Hill in Canyon City, and it would be one of the company's and the county's biggest operations. The company would stencil its name on the big lumps of coal that would come out of the mine. They branded it Diavolo Coal. The company's slogan, CF&I Coals for More Heat. Since the first mines opened in Fremont County, immigrants from all over the world would come here for work. Italy, Ireland, Britain, Mexico, and Eastern Europe. Most would never return to their family and friends back in the home country. Joe Budarak was one of those early miners. Budarak migrated to the United States from Yugoslavia. He landed a job with the railroad, traveled west in his Hupmobile convertible, met his wife, and eventually he and his young family lived in Lincoln Park. He would go on to work at the Nonak No. 5. Joe and his wife Verna's youngest children were born in the family home on Grand Avenue. Joe's job was setting the big timbers to hold the lid in the Nonak. Their youngest son, Norman, remembers the day the big piece of machinery kicked over in the mine and crushed his dad's leg.
You never knew my dad, but he always had one leg shorter than the other.
Come all young fellers, so young and so fine, and seek not your fortune in the dark, teary mind.
These were tough jobs, and these were tough people, and these were tough times. Joe Budarak would never work in the mines again. It took a full year for his leg to heal enough to come home. He would work as a night watchman at the mine and deliver coal to neighbors to help make ends meet. He was pretty proud of this load. By the time Joe and Verna's youngest son, Norman Budarak, would graduate from the Abbey in 1949, the mining industry in Fremont County was well on the decline. Norm helped his dad, Joe, tear off the roof of some of the remaining structures in Chandler, and the rest of the homes were moved to surrounding communities. War was looming in the Korean Peninsula, so Norm and 4 of his canyon buddies would ship off to the Navy the following year. Norm would sail around the world 3 times. Back home in Fremont County, the world was changing for the local coal industry as well. Homes were converting to natural gas for heat, and the demand for coal was quickly diminishing. Norman got out of the Navy, met and married local gal Jean Callan at St. Mike's Church in 1955, and by then the Nonak No. 5 had already sealed its shaft and was closed for good. Full disclosure here, Norm is my godfather. My dad, Leo Jenkins, was his best man. Norm was lucky and found work with CF&I, not at their coal mines, but at the big steel mill in Pueblo. He, like many other Fremont County residents, would either move to or commute to find work elsewhere. The Nonak No. 5 was the last big coal operation for CF&I in Fremont County. Others had closed decades earlier. CF&I operations in Brookside, Rockville, Coal Creek had all sealed their shafts. Smaller operations would continue off and on over the next 30 years. Charles Salingo would open the Dorchester mine south of Florence on the way to the Florence Mountain Park in 1979. Its modern machinery and mining techniques would help bring down the production costs. They would supply coal to the local power plant and other local industries. Cecil Slattery started at the mine at the end of a shovel when it first opened. The mine was renamed Energy Fuels, and Slattery was the safety manager there when it eventually closed.
To me, the demise of coal in Fremont County is just the cost of opening a new mine.
When Energy Fuels sealed their shaft in 2000, the last of the 279 registered coal mines in Fremont County were gone. The reign of the county's kingdom of coal had come to an end. The coal is still there, and one day it may make a return. Only time will tell. If you head all of the way west on Elm Avenue in Canyon City today, past the Prospect Heights store, you can still see the faded tailings of the Nonak No. 5. Stone pillars still overlook the foundations of the homes of the families of early miners who lived near the Chandler mine. You would really have to know where to look to find any sign of the Double Dick, Rockville, Brookside, Coal Creek, or any of the other hundreds of coal mines that dotted the hillside in Fremont County. Their memories live on through the stories passed on to descendants of those early Fremont County pioneers. Joe and Verna would live out their days at their little house on West New York. Gene Callan Budarak passed in January of 2020. Norman, well, he turns 89 in July. That's another edition of Throwback Thursday, thanks to the Florence Pioneer Museum, the Royal Gorge Museum and Regional History Center, the Steelworks Museum in Pueblo, Cecil Slattery, and my godfather, Norman Budarak, for keeping the memories alive. I'm Chris Jenkins.